Ooh. Hey, what's up? I'm Jonathan. Is this thing on? Is this thing on? Okay, cool. Hey, what's up? Is this thing on? Hey. Cool. Hey, what's up? I'm Jonathan, a web developer from Louisville, Kentucky, and welcome to my YouTube channel. This is my very first video, and I gotta be honest with you guys, in the beginning of the year, I decided that I was going to start an online Pokemon card shop, just like everybody else. And it's in the works, but it's not going how I planned it. That's okay. So first things first, 32. When I was growing up, I remember Pokemon being a really big deal in like '98. I remember getting a Game Boy Color, my first Game Boy Color in Atomic Purple, and a copy of Pokemon Red from my grandparents. And I was hooked. I loved Pokemon. I remember going on to watch Pokemon the first movie in theaters with my brother and my cousins, and getting to collect some of those sweet promo cards like the Mew and the legendary birds, I think. It's been a long time, guys. So, grew up, things changed. And then I was a loan originator, helping people get home loans to buy homes. 2016, 2017, I think, something like that. And a buddy of mine who'd just gotten hired at the company was excited about a new Pokemon release. I didn't know anything about it at the time. I'd been working, I grew up, you know, I got my big boy job and all that stuff, and then I moved on. I really wasn't thinking about Pokemon. I wasn't interested in Pokemon Go really at all either. Around that time I was too busy just trying to get ahead in life and try to put some money away, pay bills, and save for the future and that kind of thing. And anywho, my buddy decided he was going to offer me his sealed collection of, he had some like special collection, premium collection boxes from the Sun and Moon era, tins, some things like that. He had some really cool things that I ended up purchasing from him, which is super cool. And that got my passion reignited for Pokemon. I remember it just being such an exciting time, just like, it felt like I was a kid again. It was Christmas, I was re-experiencing Pokemon for the first time. I'm sure like a lot of you guys can probably relate to that as well. So yeah, I just remember, I think back and I think about my childhood and I think about Pokemon being a really important part of it. I used to watch the shows, and a lot of the values that I learned from Pokemon actually still stand by today, like the importance of friendship and not giving up when things get tough, and you know, just like striving for excellence, wanting to be the best in things. And ADHD or OCD or whatever tism it might be, I'm obsessed about that. And that's been true in my careers that I've had, or jobs in the past. I just always try to be the best at whatever I do. And I can't say that I am, but I can say that I do try the hardest. And I got that from Pokemon. And so, at that point, I started collecting sealed booster boxes. I could only get like 1 or 2 here and there. I remember Brilliant Stars came out, and I was able to order 2 from the Pokemon Center, and that was a really big deal for me. I think they were like $150 each or something like that at the time. And I kept them in the original boxes from the Pokemon Center, sealed. Like maybe it's gonna make me a lot of money or something one day. I don't know what I was thinking, but I started opening a bunch of product on that I purchased in stores, and again, just re-experiencing all the magic of Pokemon. And it was so cool. It made me feel like a kid again in a world where, I'm thinking about bills. How am I going to pay bills? What am I going to eat? My future, my clients, my job, my boss, just trying to do a good job and make ends meet and try to move the needle in my life, so to speak. So yeah. And I learned really quickly that money just disappears when you spend it on Pokemon. So I decided, after nearly completing a Sword and Shield master set, that I didn't need to open up the Pokemon cards in order to enjoy them and enjoy the experience. And it was probably later, it was like maybe 3-6 months later, I started looking into YouTube, and I discovered that there are Pokemon investors, that people treat Pokemon as an investment. I'd never thought about that or heard about it, especially coming from the financial world, thinking stocks, real estate. If you remember the whole GameStop AMC thing, I made a pretty cool play when that pumped up. Was able to get in when it was super low. So to give you an idea, that's where my head was at around this time. And I gotta say, it was 2020, 2021. I'm getting all the timelines all mixed up. Don't worry about that. But since then, around 2019, I've been just collecting things, booster boxes, box sets, tins, packs, things like that. And I love collecting sealed Pokemon products, and I just want to take that hobby to the next step. And ultimately for me, that's why I wanted to create a store. I know a lot of guys in the space who are like me. They want to do the thing, they want to get going, they want to get a distributor and start ordering stuff for nothing and getting all the cool latest releases and then sell it and get rich type thing. But to be honest, when I first thought about making a store with Pokemon, it's almost like revenge on everybody that told me growing up that I had to get a real job, that I would have to put things like playing guitar away and just grow up and be a man and all that kind of stuff, Well, I did that, and had a bunch of jobs. A lot of them are customer service focused. I could say my first career was probably a loan originator for a retail lender here in Louisville, Kentucky. And I love that job. If any of you guys are watching this, shout out to you. Some of the coolest people and smartest people that I've ever met. I probably learned some of the most from them in my life. In my 6 years as a loan originator. That was super cool. But yeah, you're working for all your customers all the time. And in the very beginning of that, my boss asked me during the interview, he's like, so you've had all these jobs, these customer focused jobs. I had a job every 3 or 4 years, I would get a different job. I'd move up or I'd move over to something else, from utility company to IT support and that kind of thing. And then moved over into the mortgage world, and he asked me, he's like, why do you want to do mortgages? What makes you think you'll be good at that? I really just said it's nothing but some work. Really it's people that I love working with. I love collaborating with people. I love engaging with people. That makes me really happy. Usually in my free time at home, I like to be alone, myself, my wife, like a cat and a dog. But I'm not much of an extrovert. I kind of recharge when I'm at home and getting to work on the projects that I want to work on. But I also have this huge heart for people, and I love people, and I really just want to share Pokemon and the love and the magic of Pokemon with the world. I think it's such a cool thing. And I've been a web developer now coming up on 3 years. And I really like that work too. I get to work with one of my best friends from middle school. And it's been an awesome experience. And I don't have any intentions on leaving that soon. Earlier in January, I thought that is the angle that I'm going to approach this channel from. I'm going to talk about starting a Pokemon card shop online from the perspective of a web developer who understands e-commerce, shipping logistics, how to fulfill orders, and how to optimize your systems to make money and that kind of stuff. And I started seeing all these Pokétubers come out. I'm like, man, I don't want to be like them. Everybody's doing the same stuff. Everybody's talking about the same things. They're flipping PSA cards. I don't know about you guys, but sometimes I have this moment where I look at myself in the mirror and I realize I'm not really special or unique, and I tend to do the same things that a lot of other people do, and it gets me down. So anyway, fast forward to today. I started Victory Road Card Shop at the end of January 2025. Started working on the website. It's not complete yet. I figured out how to source Japanese cards, and I've learned to love Japanese cards. I never really had those growing up, and I thought that is such a cool thing. And then the whole tariff thing happened. But I'm not really moving anything right now, and now the tariff thing's over, it seems like, so it didn't really matter to me anyway. So yeah, I ended up getting some Night Wanderer, some Stellar Crown, some Heat Wave Arena, some Journey Together, and very soon I'm going to be sharing that. If you're seeing this video, the website may already be out at this point, and you can probably pick some of those things up on the site. That'd be super cool, by the way. But yeah, I just I'm realizing that I got a little bit gung-ho at the end of January. I spent the better part of the last 3 months coming home every single day after working my full-time job, where it's not much physical work, but I use a lot of brain power to think through and solve problems and things like that for our clients. Come home, kiss my wife, let the dog out, do what I need to do, and then got to work designing, developing a website. And I really wanted to be the coolest website. And I know it's not going to be perfect, but a lot of folks out there using Shopify and Wix, and they're doing their own thing. I went with WordPress because I'm a WordPress developer. I also develop on Shopify. I'm pretty junior there, to be honest, but yeah, the better part of my last 3 years as a web developer have been with WordPress. So that's where I started. And right now I'm working out the kinks. I've got a basic website together that's shoppable. It's got live shipping rates and I've been like fine tuning everything to make sure all my product weights are accurate, the descriptions, and making sure that when it pulls live shipping rates in, that it's the best one possible for you guys, so that when you order, you're going to get something quickly and as cheaply as possible. I really think that's what's going to differentiate me in the space. Is I'm probably not going to be the cheapest. I would love to be very competitive when it comes to price, but more than anything, I just want to do good work, get legit, authentic product, probably mainly Japanese at first, until I can develop enough of a following to develop some kind of relationship with the distributor in the next year or two, hopefully sooner. We'll see how this goes, but yeah. I know that if I can be faithful with a little bit, I can be faithful with a lot. And while I'm still, I haven't done one sale yet, while I'm still small, I want to work on fine-tuning all of the processes so that you guys and that my customers have the best experience. They get the product shipped fast. When things arrive, they're in the condition that you expect. I order things from TCG Player. I've got another cool video where I'll probably talk about my experience recently from ordering from Brian at Pokémon for the first time. And sometimes I have less than stellar experiences. I don't like that. I don't like putting my money on the line and then spending $20 for a near mint card, and then I get the card and it's damaged. And then it feels like there's no recourse. So I just want to do business with excellence, and I think a lot of you would appreciate that. I know there's a lot of folks out there. Some are huge, and I'm sure that they're probably really good and bad. And there's some that are really small that nobody knows about that are really good and bad. And there's something about me. I've always cared a little bit too much about what other people think. And I always like to kind of flip that on its head and say, it's not really about how much I care about what they think. It's about what I am. I want to be excellent. And going back to those values that Pokemon instilled in me as a kid, I want to be the very best, like no one ever was. Anyway, I know I'm just a person. I'm not perfect, and hopefully if and when I do mess up, you guys will show me some grace and love, and allow me to make things right. I know some mistakes are going to get made along the way, but I'm going to do my damnedest, do my best to make sure that everything is done, handled with care, so that I'm giving you guys some good content as well as a trustworthy source to get some good Japanese Pokemon cards, hopefully eventually some English on the regular. I do plan to list some English boxes and things like that from my collection to get started. I do think that a lot of that stuff is going to go really quick, and then once it's sold, I'm not going to really be able to source it again, replace it without selling it for a higher price. That's one thing I want to avoid. I don't want to buy stuff on the secondary market and then flip it for an unreasonable price. So just know, when I do drop the website, I'm probably going to try my best to release English products at market. I'm going to try to give really good deals on Japanese as much as I can. And then we'll see where it goes. See how the videos go on the channel. See how the orders go. I'm going to be reviewing and analyzing the analytics from the website and learning from every customer interaction and order. And try to optimize things as quickly as possible so things can be great. So yeah. This room right here that I'm in, this is a spare bedroom in a house that I'm renting. And my awesome wife is taking a lot of time to clean things up. I know it's a construction zone right now. You can see our pool monstera that we've been working on. This is a room in the house that gets the most light, so you see some plants around here. But yeah, my wife was able to sand all the walls down, prepping. She's got some primer on the walls. You know, gotta get that kind of stuff squared away, and then I'm gonna pull all the product in here, set up a ship station, and then run the business out of this room. So everything is gonna happen in here. I'm sure you guys will get to see a lot more videos in the future right here in this room. I'll probably try to shoot some stuff in other places too to keep things interesting. But yeah. By the way, the new business, it's called Victory Road Card Shop. And I wanted to name it that because number one, it's Pokemon themed, and I just remember Victory Road being my favorite part, playing the OG games, Pokemon Red. It's the most exciting. Going through the cave, fighting all the trainers, and doing what you can to get to the Elite Four and become the best. So, anyways, guys, if you're still watching this video, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Would appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, give this video a like, and check back with me soon. I'm hoping to be able to add a bunch more videos every week, at least a handful, and develop some relationships with you guys, get to know who you are and what you're interested in as well. But yeah, have a great week. Talk soon. See you.